everyone, welcome back to The Student Lawyer. My name's Ellie and today my video is going to have a commercial awareness focus. I'm going to be talking about how you can improve your commercial awareness and then doing a case study where I look into the recent news that Boohoo will be buying out Debenhams. I look at the impact it might have on the market as well as any competition law issues it could raise. So what is commercial awareness? In its most basic form, it's understanding the way that businesses, different industries and markets all impact each other and also the global context. Ways to improve your commercial awareness. So I'd recommend first starting by looking at the BBC News app, and then if you're beyond that, you can start to look at The Economist, the Financial Times. Personally, I prefer the Financial Times because it breaks everything down really nicely. So you can look at the market sector, the tech sector, and you can follow different topics that you find interesting. Another really great thing you can do is listen to podcasts. So Spotify and Apple Music, they all have a range of different commercial awareness podcasts. And you can just listen for 20 minutes in the morning. I do it when I'm on the tube, but you could do it when you're on a walk or something. And that way you're building your commercial awareness without even realizing it. Finally, another thing I'd recommend is you can attend different talks. So at the moment there are so many, while everything is virtual, where law firms are talking about COVID-19, the effect it's had on the market, even comparing it to the Lehman Brothers crash. And also there's a lot of talks about the vaccine and how this could impact the market. So by attending these virtual talks with different law firms, you're going to be getting their insight into commercial awareness, but also building your own. So the case study focus. So for those of you who don't know, Debenhams is a retailer in the UK who have about 125 different department stores. They've recently been bought out by Boohoo for about £55 million. So looking into why Debenhams plummeted, they've been on the high street for about 250 years. And in 2016, they were valued at £1.7 billion. But now they've recently been sold for 55 million. So in the meantime, there's clearly been a lot of loss in value. This year alone, they've had 3 insolvency proceedings, and there's been various offers recently by Mike Ashley, who is the founder of Sports Direct, to buy them out. I think he offered about 125 million, and they rejected it for it being too low. So the pandemic accelerated issues that Boohoo were already facing. They couldn't compete with the online retailers such as Boohoo, Pretty Little Thing, In the Style and so on. These retailers were able to produce garments much quicker for a much cheaper price, and as everything moved online shopping became a necessity that Debenhams couldn't compete with. Their stores also were very big, they were huge department stores, and the rent on those was also costing a lot, and while everything was closed during lockdown, this obviously made it very difficult for them to keep turning a profit. So another problem for Debenhams is that they stopped listening to what customers wanted, they stopped innovating. They didn't pay attention to the different market entrants like Boohoo, like Pretty Little Thing and so on. And this then meant that when everybody started working from home, fast fashion retailers were able to quickly churn out new forms of loungewear, and then they overtook Debenhams. And the thing is, people haven't stopped shopping, they've just started shopping in different ways, and Debenhams weren't able to keep up with that. So my personal interest lies in competition law, so I do tend to look at things with a competition law lens. But there have been a lot of questions as to whether Boohoo should even be allowed to buy Debenhams. This is because they've recently bought Karen Millen, Coast, they've also bought Oasis, and they've then turned these stores into strictly online only, hammering another nail in the coffin of the high street, and also meaning that they start to monopolise the market a little bit more as well. A similar thing happened with Facebook and with Google, where they bought out social media applications as they went into liquidation. And now there are lots of calls for Facebook to be broken up because people say they're becoming too dominant, they're abusing their dominant power, and they're starting to really monopolise the market. And it's possible that in buying out all of these different fashion companies, Boohoo's doing that because they're eliminating them as competition, they become all part of Boohoo. This only really becomes an issue if they do abuse their dominant position, because it's not illegal to be a dominant company. That would obviously be counterproductive to the idea of business success, but it's another possible issue. However, there are also other businesses on the market that can rival Boohoo. So for example, ASOS are in a very similar position. They're doing everything online, which obviously means a lot of costs cut in terms of the staffing, the rent that they pay and so on, and they can then provide a rival to Boohoo. They've also recently bought a few new companies too, so this means that there should still be a lot of competition on the market. A few other issues that this could raise is that within Debenhams they had different counters as a department store. So this had, for example, Chanel, YSL, so on. And there's also the possibility that brands like Chanel might not want to be associated with Boohoo, and there'll be various contracts around that as well. For example, Boohoo recently had quite a few scandals. In the summer there was talks about them paying below minimum wage to workers in Leicester. There's also been a lot of scandal recently with them selling garments for as little as 30p in a pound, and allegations of sweatshop labour. This led to their stocks plummeting. I think it was last July. A lot of investors then dumped the money that they were going to put into the company. But I mean, clearly they've recovered very well if they're going to now be buying Debenhams. But it does raise the issue as well of brands who want to be associated and partnered with Boohoo that were from Debenhams. Also, customer data which Debenhams acquired has now been given to Boohoo as part of the intellectual property that they bought. This could be worrying for customers given the fact that data is now one of the most powerful tools on the market, and their data has just been transferred to another company. So that was a quick introduction to the recent deal. Like I said, it's very recent, so there's not too much online at the moment, but I can anticipate in the next few weeks, I'm sure there'll be a lot more on the Financial Times. I would recommend you keep following the case, maybe see any different developments that come up, and also find your own areas that you find interesting. Look on the Financial Times, like I said, listen to some podcasts, and over a period of months, maybe follow various deals, or whether it's oil or the stock market you're interested in. Look at it over a period of time and see the way that it develops. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you took away a few useful tips, and I'll see you for another one very soon. Bye.